Hey there, welcome to the Forex Academy. This is Darrell, and this is VMS Strategy Summary for week number 5, 2026. Let's get into it. Australian dollar to the Swiss franc last week. We had a setup with a shooting star and an engulfing candle, but I could not find any volume anywhere. VMS is volume, momentum, and structure. They all have to come together in order for us to take a trade. So that one didn't happen. Next one, Australian dollar to the Japanese yen. This is one that we did get a nice little setup here, but it happened at 9 p.m. and there was no pullback, no chance to get into this one whatsoever. We had volume on the 4H at 86, which we're looking for a minimum of 80, so that was just fine. And well, just the timing on that one was not during our trading times. Canadian dollar to the Japanese yen. This is actually from 2 weeks ago, but I wanted to show it to you. We had a lot of rejection down here, and when we finally got our engulfing candle, excuse me. When we finally got our engulfing candle, I couldn't find any volume back here. So that was one that we passed on, and you can see that it did go up pretty well. We had good momentum here, and we had a nice structure, but I've got to have that volume in order to get me to pull the trigger. So the next one here is a trade that we are currently live in, and we took this, on Tuesday of last week. And you can see the reason I took this was from this pullback. So in my opinion, I had a first leg, second leg, third leg, and now this fourth leg is the one that if it stops and uses uses its resistance as support now, and gives us the signals that we're looking for, which would be an engulfing candle plus coming back into the support, momentum being very low at 98, and then making a hook in the upward direction. We had a 1 hour chart that has volume at 94. All of these are triggers for the VMS system. So we got into this trade, and we're fortunate enough to get it right in this area. And so anyhow, so it was moving up nicely on Friday, and then right at the end of the day, it just went straight down. Look at what it did there, and the sellers recovered a whole bunch of whatever they lost. So we'll keep hanging in with this one and give it some breathing room. I'm not going to move the stops on it or nothing like that. This is our target up here. I typically pick my targets from the Fibonacci or from obvious areas of support and resistance. So the next one is one that we're watching for next week. Maybe I'll do all those at once. Euro to the pound right here. This is another one that occurred at 9 p.m. And look at this nice impulsive move up. We had great resistance up here, and then we had an engulfing candle. That would have been the trigger, but again, it happened at 9 p.m. There was no chance to get into it, so that's one we missed out on. We'll see where it goes. Pound to the Australian dollar right here. This is one that I passed on, and I passed on it because I couldn't find momentum. For me, momentum down here was only at 35, and that's not good enough for, and that was this one right here, not this one. So in this particular instance, you can see it came down, made a swing low, retracted from that a little bit, broke through the swing low, came back to it, and that is considered a pullback. And then from here, we're looking for the trigger, which is this right here, which is the engulfing candle. And so that's one that we did not take because I felt momentum was not strong enough to support it. Next one is the pound to the Swiss franc right here. And this is another one that I passed on because of momentum. And you can see that we had a downtrend, really nice triple leg downtrend. And then we made a pullback up into this now resistance area, was support, now resistance. It's got a nice little shooting star, but this is not a shooting star. I've got other videos that explain what a shooting star is. That is the candle, but it's not in the right position. It would have to be at the extreme low, kind of like what this one is right here. Anyhow, so that one you can see that momentum was not going down. It looks like it was going up from here. So that kept me out of this trade. And what would have happened is it would have went with us for a little bit and then knocked us out. So that VSM saved us from a loss on that one. Next one is the pound to the yen. This is one that we spotted, and we tried to get into it based on our rules. And with our rules, we have a certain place, certain things that we do to place our stop loss, and everything else gets built from that. The profit target, the entry, all gets built from this, from your stop loss. That is firm. So what ended up happening is I had an entry right here. That's what I calculated. And the price just never came back up and hit us. But you can see what did happen there. All right. So the next one, I'm going to show you a couple of wins that we did take. And I'll just explain to you why we took them. Okay. So this one, pound to the dollar, you can see we had a huge impulsive move coming up here. Momentum was very high at 97 and divergent. Okay. We had a rejection candle here, followed by an engulfing candle. And this is where we chose to get into the market. As you can see, the market, this is the highest this market's been for a while, over a year or so. And we saw this as a strong reversal, and we took it and we got the win from it. Next one was the New Zealand dollar to the yen. And we've won multiple times in this market. It's been pretty good to us. This is interesting here, though. Okay, so here is the shooting star. Here is the engulfing candle. That's the trigger that we're looking for. This is the structure. All of this is the structure. We have a pretty good impulsive move coming up, not like straight up like what it's doing here, but we do have a nice impulsive move coming up. And again, you can see that momentum is very high at 96 and hooking down. Check that. The momentum was at 100. But we also had the 4-hour volume was 83. We need 80. And 1 hour was 84. We're looking for 85. And the 15-minute was at 90, or check that, 94. And we're only looking for 90 on that. So I came into this one with a limit order, and we were filled somewhere in here. The market came down, hit our profit target, which is based on Fibonacci. And just looking at it and looking at what makes sense. Where does it make sense that this market might come down to? And so that's where we placed our stop, and it's always a 2-to-1. And so it came down, gave us our money, and then took off. I find humor in that. New Zealand dollar to the U.S. dollar is another one that we got. And so this one, we had a really strong uptrend right here. We took a win earlier, sometime last month, or maybe earlier. Yeah, it was last month, January. We took a loss. So we take losses too, guys. Okay, so what are we looking at? So this is one, and I post most of my trades, the ones that I'm watching, I post them on TradingView. And so if you ever want to go there, look us up there and follow along. I post a lot of these there. So, okay. So this one, we had some rejection up here. This is an engulfing candle, but it's not the one I took because of the wick down here. That's not a real strong engulfing candle. This one is a strong engulfing candle. That one is the one that I based everything on. And it happened at 5 o'clock in the evening. But in the morning when I came in, this is to me, it's 7 a.m. and I was able to put in a limit order and get into this market at that time. The market continued down, and it went down. It hit the Fibonacci 38%, which is normally my first target. And this was my second target. If I would have had one, I did not. I took everything right here. And so that was another one that we got. Okay, so next week, what we are looking for, I'm going to come all the way back up here. Not what we're looking for, but what we're looking at. Okay, so this market, euro to the Canadian dollar, you can see that it's already in a four leg. So it's got 1, 2, 3, and then not sure what's going on here, but we've got a pretty strong support and resistance zone right here. So what I'm watching for is for the market to break below the support zone, pull back to it, and then give us some kind of a trigger in that area. Next one I'm watching is the euro to the US dollar. And this is another one that I feel if the market can break through and make a new low and then do a retrace pullback up to this support zone, resistance zone, then it might come down. But in so doing, everything has to line up. This is just structure. Structure first, and then momentum, and then volume. Pound to the Canadian dollar is the next one that we're watching. And this is another one that I'm looking for to finish out this, or not finish out, but continue on the downtrend. And in order to do that, we'd have to make a new swing low, do a pullback back up to the SR zone, and then come out from there. And right here, we would have to see all this, everything come together. Volume has to come together. Momentum has to come together. Momentum would have to be higher. Let me just show you that. So momentum has to be higher. And then, gotta know how to work the tool, I guess. And like that. So that's what we're looking for there. And the last one that we're watching is the dollar to the Japanese yen. This is one, we actually did get a trigger right here, and I posted this on TradingView. This is not what we're looking for. That looks really good, but that's not what we want. Okay. So what we need is, and I got to say this, the support and resistance zones are very subjective. What I see and what you see might be two different things. What I see here is a strong support resistance level. I see a touch here, not so much right there, but definitely we got some action in there. So I'm not interested if the price doesn't come up into this zone, because this is a strong sell and buy zone right here. And so I'm not interested unless it touches that. Once it does touch it, and it looks like, maybe next week it might start getting up there. What do you guys think? Maybe, huh? And if it touches up in this area now, then we would have a downtrend here along with price action coming up into support and resistance, and that's confluence right in this area. We already have divergent activity on momentum. So what I anticipate is that this market's going to come up a little bit more, about right there, and then it's going to fire off. And that's going to still leave momentum in being divergent, which is a stronger momentum setup than just a single arch coming up and then going down or up. But those can be strong too. I've seen them over 100 actually. So this is the last one that we're watching. Okay, guys, if you followed along this long, I appreciate it. And I'm trying to show you guys what we're watching for next week, along with what happened this past week using the VMS strategy. We have a Facebook group that's public. You're welcome to join it. I post a lot of stuff in there. And we also post on TradingView pretty much on a daily basis. If we see something developing, I try to let everybody know that. Use your own, paper trade. I'm not trying to give financial advice or any kind of signals. I'm just trying to show you what I see, and if it makes sense to you, great. Then follow along. All right. Thank you for doing what you're doing, man. We're on this journey together, and I'm here for you. Have a great day.